I've turned myself into a drawing. Yes, that's correct. You no longer have to suffer from looking at my actual face, and instead observe this beautiful avatar created by Exorcist Gold, the same artist who does my thumbnails. Link in the description to all their socials. For the longest time, I've been attempting to do something similar to this format, and now with this avatar, it's completely possible and absolutely amazing. Hopefully I can now embrace the vision that I've had ever since I've started this channel, and hopefully I can bring you more professional raid videos. Speaking of vision, a horror movie antagonist's appearance is basically everything. The thing that can identify who they are. Freddy's burns and his fedora and sweater, Michael's emotionless mask and jumpsuit, and the subject of today's video, Jason Voorhees. Known for machetes and hockey masks, Jason's had a decent amount of appearance changes, and we shall be observing and ranking these different appearances today. Rules for this list are simple. All films first, and then side appearances after. Next, we will be including Pamela and her limited appearances as well. And finally, no parody Jasons. It doesn't have to be canon to the franchise, just cannot be a parody. So, no robot chicken Jason, but fan film Jasons such as Ghost Jason from Never Hike Alone are acceptable, as well as comic appearances that I could find, and video game appearances as well. Starting with the original film released in 1980, we have Pamela Voorhees and Kid Jason. Pamela is played by Betsy Palmer, and Kid Jason is played by Ari Lehman. Pamela has a relatively simple look, with her most memorable feature being her blue sweater. That or her pearly whites. I gotta get her dentist's phone number. Seriously, my bottom teeth are not doing too well. I got I got the crooked teeth. Kid Jason is simple too, just a deformed little boy. So both Kid Jason and Pamela are being placed in D tier, while they both started the franchise. Their looks are pretty basic, and so D tier. Part 2 Jason is next, being played by two actors, Warrington Gillette and Steve Dash. Jason is seen sporting a potato sack / pillowcase over his head with one eye hole cut for vision, a pair of blue overalls, and a plaid blue shirt. Jason's first adult appearance is definitely different from what we know today. Not a bad look though, but definitely doesn't match the iconic one that he's known for, placing him in D tier. Part 3 changes things from Part 2 look, giving Jason beige pants, a green button-up shirt, and, finally, his hockey mask. This is where we began to shift into the Jason that we know today. Some decent beginnings for the look. Part 3 is placed in B tier. Jason here is portrayed by Richard Brooker. Part 3 also has an alternate look for Pamela Voorhees, too, zombifying her and placing that version in the C tier. Part 4 is going to go by quick. It's essentially the same look for Jason, with the addition of some more damage to the mask and more blood to his outfit. Not much to be said here, so is going to be in B tier as well. Jason in Part 4 was portrayed by Ted White. Here's the film not many people like. We have Part 5. Not being Jason, but being a different antagonist, Roy Burns. Being played by Dick Wienad. I almost said Wiener. Dick Wiener. The experimental concept that Part 5 introduced wasn't well received, so Roy would be replaced later by Zombie Jason. But we'll still go over his appearance because he was a slasher in one of the main Friday the 13th movies. Same hockey mask as Jason, but with blue chevrons instead of red, and a blue jumpsuit. Roy's obviously not the most liked character, but there isn't anything wrong with his appearance. Just kind of basic, but similar to the Jason we know, except more blue. So he's going to be in the C tier. Now, Part 6, Jason is a strange one, being played by CJ Graham. After acquiring some new accessories after being revived, he's still wearing the same green shirt and beige pants, but he's also added a utility belt, some yellow gloves, and a couple of other minor things. I'm honestly not the biggest fan of this look. It's the gloves that throw it off for me. I'm not sure why. Some people like this design, just for me, the inclusion of the gloves just kind of makes it too strange. And so he's going to be in C tier. Just not a fan of the new accessories is all. All right, now we get into the meat and potatoes. Part 7 is the first appearance of Kane Hodder, who would play Jason for the next 3 films. Jason here is at his most rotting look, with the green shirt and beige pants falling apart after being stuck in the lake after Part 6. His mask is also more visually damaged, with a large chunk missing from the left side. Part 7 Jason is our first S tier entrant. Part 8 Jason isn't the weirdest he's looked, but is definitely still strange. Always being wet and still wearing the same clothes he's had since Part 3. Mostly a moldy black color, but there is also a new mask. It's a repaired version of his original. It's just a little more stretched out and a lot more yellow. Part 8 Jason is placed in C tier. Would have been higher, but the mask's color just kind of bugs me. Now, to my understanding, Part 9 Jason wears a blue button up with blue pants. It could either be a blue jumpsuit. That's just something that, I go back and forth with in my brain here. But either way, the mask is actually permanently stuck to his face, which is probably the coolest part of this appearance, giving him a spot in the A tier. Jason X is up next, and we're not going to be covering his appearance before he got cybernetically enhanced. Rather, we're going to be talking about after, also known as Uber Jason. And to me, even though it is a different look, it's weird seeing in live action. A little too visually plasticky. You could definitely tell that it's like not the highest of budgeted costumes for the character. Not terrible, but like obviously not good at all. So C tier is deserving, I suppose. All right, now we have the mega crossover of the early 2000s. Freddy vs. Jason, now being played by Ken Kurtzinger. Jason is wearing dark pants and a dark shirt with a brown jacket and his iconic mask. This version of Jason would be the version most people would know him by, or the version Halloween companies make costumes of, most likely. This Jason's being put in A tier. Finally, for the films, we have Remake Jason, played by Derek Mears, and wearing a similar outfit to the last film's Jason, with some altercations. Lighter brown pants, a lighter shirt, and a black jacket, with a hockey mask that's slightly too small for his head. This Jason's been placed in the B tier. Alright, now that we've covered the films, let's cover his other appearances that are not in film, mainly things like comics, video games, and a fan film. First up, we have NES Jason. Jason's clothes and head skin are purple, and his mask and arms are blue. This is the only Jason that's being placed in the F tier for obvious reasons. Next is a relatively unknown crossover comic, Jason vs. Leatherface. He's a combination of his Part 7 and Part 9 look. Not bad at all, and it's actually pretty cool. So I'm placing him in the S tier. Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash is next. He had 2 looks in this comic series, but I'm only focusing on the first one. It's his Freddy vs. Jason appearance, but the bottom half of his mask is missing, and his jawbone is exposed, making this a pretty fucking cool look. I placed him in the S tier as well. Ghost Jason from the fan film Never Hike Alone is next. A dark brown pants, a gray shirt, and a dark brown jacket, with an old yellowish gray looking mask. This Jason is definitely a good look for the slasher, and something that's changed up his look relatively. So, he's being placed in the A tier. MKX Jason is next. Another shirt, pants, jacket combo that we know. His basic look, just the jacket is pretty lighter than anything else that we've seen in the past. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, they say. A tier for this one. Finally, we have Savini Jason, an original design used for the Friday the 13th game, made by the man himself, Tom Savini, to show what would happen if Jason never escaped hell after Part 9. This badass demon Jason is probably the coolest he's ever going to look. S tier for sure. And that's my tier list. Would you guys change anything about it, or do you relatively agree? Let me know where you would put these Jason and Pamela appearances in the comments below. And if you're going to share yours or have your own opinion about other people's, at least be nice about it. Follow my social media links in the description below, as well as the different artists who helped shape this channel to how it is today and how far it's going to go in the future. And of course, you don't have to do this part, but I really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, as it really helps grow my channel. Because, plus one, like and subscribe, I suppose. If you didn't like it, though, don't subscribe. Hell, leave a dislike. I like seeing the negative response as well, so I know how to improve myself. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I do apologize for how long it took to get out. Next time, I will be reviewing a relatively unknown slasher movie from 2008.